It's me, the Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. It is Monday night, and this is Twisted Stitches. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a really crazy day, and I just want to take a moment before we actually start the show to send a big thank you to everyone for the kind messages and sentiments regarding my mom's passing. I really do appreciate it. It's been a hard time, but we're getting through with a lot of help from our friends, and you all are those friends along with family who I'm talking about. It's just been an amazing outpouring of love and appreciation. Thank you so much. So we are moving forward, and we've got a great show for you tonight. I am looking forward to Whitney Terrell joining us from Euro Yarn. She's not quite with us yet, but I'm sure she'll be here. In the meantime, I had a wonderful opportunity the past few weeks to work with a group of young women, young girls, teenagers from an organization called Sunshine Kids. You may remember when I spoke about that. Sunshine Kids is an organization that provides trips for kids with cancer. And of course, with all the lockdowns and things that we're going through right now, they don't really have the opportunity to go on those trips, so things like New Orleans and Disney World and stuff like that are out of the question. So they asked me if I would help and do a Zoom knitting class for the kids. And so I put it out there. And after 4 sessions, I want to show you what these girls turned out. Here's 2 sisters. This is Michaela and Kaylee. And those are their ear warmers, and they did such a fine job. And thanks so much to Knitting Fever for providing us with the yarn and the needles. They've had their Likey needles and their Ella Ray chunky, superwash chunky yarn. It was just a fun time for them, and a lot of fun for me too, doing the Zoom class with them. It's great. We may have a little bit of problem with technology, but these kids have it for sure. They've got this all figured out. So Kaylee and Michaela, and then there are a couple of others who I did not get pictures from yet, but as we get more, we'll be sure to share them with you. So who's on with us tonight?
Anna Maria. Hello, Paulette.
Hey, Anna Maria.
She says she's excited about tonight's show. And we have Ann McClure.
Hi, Ann.
The shawl you are wearing is pretty.
That is one of the shawls we're going to be talking about tonight. This is Rainbow Beach. We're going to be talking a little bit about that too.
And
yeah.
Knitting Fever is on, and Euro Yarn says, yay, they look great.
Oh, that's great. Well, those Sunshine Kids, they did a great job. I'm looking forward to doing more. And speaking of online classes, we're going to be doing something a little different coming up. It's going to be called Zoom. And just like that, you're knitting socks. So we're going to be doing a sock class online. I've got the whole thing planned out. It's all ready to go on the website. It's not up just yet, but I want to let you all know about it because you'll be getting emails and seeing the announcements. We're going to be working on toe-up socks one at a time. I'm not going to do 2 at a time because it's just a little bit crazy to do 2 at a time online. That's way too much confusion for me between backwards and magic loops. So you are going to learn magic loop. You're going to learn to cast on, to knit in magic loop, and you're going to learn the basic construction of socks. So that's where we are as far as what's coming up. And I see Paul going to check out some more comments there.
Linda Brio says hi.
Hi, Lynn.
Jeff Gill. Hi, all.
Hi, y'all.
And Helen Solenberger. Hi, Paulette.
Oh, from...
It's Helen from Buffalo.
It's Helen from Buffalo. Yes, it is.
Right.
And so when we're knitting the socks, we're going to be using the KFI Luxury Collection yarn, and that's you'll be looking at that when you see the sock making class come online. So those are the yarns that we'll be using. We have a large variety of colors, and the sock yarn will be included in the cost of the entire package. Will include the yarn, the needles, and the classes, 4 classes. So we're going to have a fun time with that. I hope you'll join us. Okay, I want to start off before we get too crazy with lots of other things going on around. I want to start off with our tip or technique for the day. And we had talked about provisional cast on. So many of you had asked, how do I do a provisional cast on? When do I use a provisional cast on? And I don't know what it means. So you'll find that a provisional cast on will be used most often, excuse me, when you want to use those stitches, those cast on stitches again, kind of like if you're going to be joining something at the end, Kitchener stitch, or, just joining the top and bottom of something together. So provisional cast on is the method that's used. I'm just going to grab my water, excuse me.
Jody Long is on. Hi, Paul and Paulette. Hey, Jody.
Hi, Jody. Okay, I'm ready. Got my water. All right. So if you want to practice along with us, you're going to need to have a crochet hook and 2 different color yarns. It's good to have a contrasting color so that you can use one for your chain, and the other one would be the color that you'll be knitting in. So if you're going to be following along with us, I have one that is got a little sample here for you as to how it looks. This is how we do our provisional cast on. Oh no, and I have professional knitters there watching me, so this should be interesting. So when you do a provisional cast on, I like to put a little knot at the beginning of my my chain. Then I put my little loop in there, make my loop, and then you always want to chain a few more stitches than it's telling you to cast on. So if it says to cast on 5, let's keep life simple here. I'm gonna make a chain of about 8.
Should I be over your shoulder with the camera?
Why don't you? Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Why don't you come over this way? Is that better? Can you see my hands here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna chain 8, and so we're just using. It's good to use the same size yarn that you're going to be working with for your little chain. There you go. So I've probably done a little more than 8. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is, my,
Okay, we're back.
hi, I'm going to get my scissors. Hold on. Don't go anywhere.
Bryce Wonders. Hey, guys.
Hey, Bryce.
Franz Slocum Atwater. Hi, everyone. Awesome view. Thank you.
Hey. All right. So I made my chain. You see my chain. Now, here's where we sometimes get a little confused. When we're doing our provisional cast on, we know that we have to pull up loops, but we don't pull them in the chain. We pull them through the opposite side of the chain. And you can see right here that there are bumps along the way. See those little bumps? So you start by pulling up stitches through the bumps, and you pull them up. You start on the side that has that little knot. Okay, let me just. Hi from Sun City, Arizona. Okay, so now I do this. You can do it with your needles. I'm going to use a little double pointed needle to pull up my stitches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going on the back side of my chain, and you can see there's a little bump there and one there. And so that's where you're going to pull up your stitches. So I'm going to start, make sure I've got this on the right end. So I start in a few from where my chain ended, or my chain started. And I'm just going to pull up a stitch in between those little bumps. And this is not always the easiest thing to do. You got to work a little bit at it. So there's one. And you want to make sure that you keep your chain in the right direction. And then 2, Okay. And then we're just going to pull up a few more so you can see. So now what you're doing, and it's a little hard to do with the camera over my shoulder, but that's okay. I'm okay, Paul. Just want to make sure I get this in the right place so that when it's time to pull them out. So here's where now you have your little stitches pulled up. Oopsie, come on, you little stinker. There we are. Oops. And so now I have my stitches right pulled up through my chain. So now as I continue my project, I'm going to knit along according to my project, and these loops are going to stay on that chain. So I'm going to now, according to my pattern instructions, I'm going to knit in my instructions, through my instructions. As I go up and I finish my project, you'll see right down here, I have my provisional cast on. I can now take this chain because I started on this end and you can see that my last loop is here. And I can now just take this and pull it out. And you see, I have my cast on stitches are now live. Now you'll be doing something with those stitches, whatever your instructions tell you to do, but you oftentimes you're going to be taking them and you might do a Kitchener stitch to join the top and the bottom of something. And that is how your provisional cast on works. So just to kind of recap, you create your chain and then you go in from the back side of the chain into the little bumps and pull up your loops. Once you do that and you come across, then you can start your pattern as you would normally knit it. Any questions, any comments on that? Okay. So that's a simple provisional cast on. I think the most important thing is that you want to remember is that when you start to pull up your loops, you're pulling them up from the side of the chain where you started, not the end. So you're going to come across from here. You're going to always have this loose loop on the end, the last loop, and be sure that you make your chain a few more stitches than the pattern actually calls for. Oh, thanks, Jody. I was hoping you would say that. That was a tough one to explain and to pull up the stitches at the loops at the same time. But you know, once you start to figure out the different stitches and why you use them, and then you do them more often. It's kind of like that long tail without a long tail. Then once you get the hang of it, then it's easier. It's not as hard as you thought it was in the beginning. It's kind of like when you're learning to knit. You know, I tell my students all the time, you don't want to learn how to knit, you want to know how to knit. But there's a process to learning. And so learning the provisional cast on, I would suggest just trying it a few times when there's not a project you have to work on. Because if we don't use what we learn and we don't practice it, we'll never get better at it. So what do we got going on there, Paul?
All right. Anna Maria says, cool. Brenda Dixon Berger, thank you. Now I got it. If I don't lose it before I need it, thank you very much.
Well, and if you do lose it before you need it, what I want you to do is take my name and my phone number. You know I'm the Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl, but here's our phone number, 203-856-6755. And you can call me anytime. I don't stay up real late, but you know what I mean. I'd love to answer your questions for you. I have a great time. I was on the phone.
I'll be back in a moment.
too bad we can't turn our phone off while we're doing this. But we do need it. Get it out of the way. We're working on that. Okay. We're off. No audio.
It's coming back.
Oh.
Oh yeah, she was right. It was off. Okay, we're back.
But it says unmute there.
We're good.
Okay. Oh, we're back. Okay. Are we back?
Yeah, we're
Yay!
back.
Okay. Shoot. A little bit of technology there. So I want to come over if I can. Can we move away from the screen there?
Oh.
No, we can't.
France has no audio. Do we have audio now? We should have audio.
Game on.
Game on. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
All right. So when I look at the Rainbow Beach colors here, so when you look at a shawl, the one that like I'm wearing here, and the Irish shawl, and I just thought this was the cutest little. Look at this great little vest, just adorable. It's great for the summer over a pair of jeans. Oh, really cute with a nice little a tank or a little shirt, and that's the Ona cardigan, and just really nice. I love the way the design is here, and the colors on this are just so pretty. So Rainbow, all the pretty colors you have, so you can combine them. There's on the website, you're going to see we have the Shift Cowl by Andrea Mowry, and the Shift Cowl works beautifully in using Rainbow Beach. The Shift is the cowl is, of course, a little smaller. It's and it is sewn up the back, and so that takes 3 skeins of Rainbow Beach, and we have a couple of different kits available on the website, for different combinations of colors that you can use for that. And so when you look here, I just think this is just so pretty. Look at that, just gorgeous. The colors are so pretty. And I love the way this yarn moves. I love the movement in it, the tweedy look to it. Really very, very pretty. And I love the feel of it too. You're going to love working with this. Has a great, great hand. I like it. There's another piece right here that we have. This is another very similar. This one has open diamonds. Or I should say more like a little cable in there. And the lace edge. So that's another piece that will be on the website. You may notice a little stick pin there. We are going to be adding stick pins to our accessories, and you're going to be finding those on the website. You'll be able to add a stick pin to your order or order them separately by themselves. So that'll be an option with each item that goes up once the stick pins have all come in, and I can add them to the website. Right here is the Boardwalk shawl. Really a pretty little piece using Rainbow Beach. Now here in this piece, there's a combination, and I'll grab the colors here, Paul. You'll see what they've done here is they've taken a multicolor and mixed it with a solid. Really a great little kit to work on. And there's a little mosaic trim. I like the little fringe. You can put the fringe or not. I think it gives it a nice little extra kick there. And that's called the Boardwalk shawl. Very pretty. One skein of each. I think, oh wait, maybe there's two in one on that one. If anyone there from Knitting Fever can clarify that for me, that would be great. So that is the Boardwalk shawl. Of course, it's so cute having Rainbow Beach and Boardwalk shawls. It's really a cute idea. Love the colors and the names. This with the mosaic, you may have noticed on our website. You may have noticed on the website that we have another kit right now that is a mosaic design, and I just am in love with this. And this, we're going to move from Rainbow Beach for a moment over to Elizabeth Lavold's Silky Wool. This is just phenomenal. I love the way this piece came out. Pam Atkins was knitted this for me. Of course, as I said, being a yarn shop owner, you don't always have the time to do all the knitting and run the business at the same time. So I have wonderful knitters who help me out. And Pam did a beautiful job on this. Just look at this piece. Really pretty. And this is on our website. And so you've got one skein. Well, you have two skeins of two colors and one of your contrasting colors. So in this case, your gray would be your contrasting color. There we go. And that's just a very, very lovely piece. Don't be frightened by mosaic.
We've got some comments I can see here.
Okay.
Jillian Goldrich, I finished the dress in the Rainbow Beach this morning.
Oh, be sure to send a picture. I can't wait to see it.
And then Knitting Fever put up a link for the Rainbow Beach Shifts cowl.
Thank you.
The Queensland Connection, Rainbow Beach is 100% superwash wool, easy care garments. Hooray.
That's right.
We have Gina up. Gina, these colors look like ribbon candy. Yummy emoji. Queensland Collection Boardwalk shawl, one hank each of two colors.
Okay, perfect. That's what I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Okay, one hank of each color. And that will be up on the, I can't remember if I got that up yet or not. I've been adding things so quickly, trying to get everything up there and playing a little bit of catch up, but it'll all be up there for you to see.
And Karen Kaplan says, I enjoy your videos.
Thank you, Karen. I enjoy making them. And I have a great videographer.
Knitting Fever and Euro Yarns, meet me at midnight. There's a link to that one as well.
Yeah, this is just so beautiful. And we have, and it was what, 7:59 when an order came in for
yes.
Meet Me at Midnight. It was like, wow.
And Jody Long, the shawl looks a super fun knit. It
is. And like I said, whether there are charts, sometimes you'll see a kit that has a chart as well as the pattern written. Sometimes it's just charts, but it's easy to decipher, especially mosaic. It's only two colors that you're using at once, and you're slipping one and knitting the other. So mosaic is really easy. It's not like doing all that stranded color work. Not that I wouldn't do that, but this is a lot easier. Do we have other comments there? I see you smiling.
I'm always smiling.
Okay. So while we're on the mosaic and I want to jump back for a moment to the Rainbow Beach, because I just love to mix different brands and different yarns when they work well together, of course. And one of my favorite all-time patterns is this right here. I love Stephen West. I just love his creativity. His mind goes in so many different directions. And he does do a lot with short rows. And this is one of my favorite pieces that he has. And I just wear this to death. But let me just throw it on real quick. Okay, this is it's called Batad. And so, it's kind of just a little shoulder cowl. But you can wear it so many different ways. When it's cold, I take it and I throw it over my shoulders. And, you know, you can wear it as a cowl. You can wear it with the long piece hanging in the front. So it's got so much that you can, there's so much that you can do with it. I just think it's a really versatile piece. And when I was looking at the Rainbow Beach, I thought, wouldn't that be pretty if you combined Rainbow Beach and the Gadifra Lana Mia Uni to do the batades. I mean, this is just such a pretty combination, and they work really, the two yarns work really well together. And so this, you know, I just kind of laid out a variety of different color combinations that I saw here. And if there's something that strikes your eye, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And when you're working with the batade, the welting is probably the piece that will give you like, oh my God, I don't know how to do that. But it's so simple because it's all worked in the round. And when you're working on the welting part, you're knitting 8 rows, and then you're knitting row 1 and row 8 together.
Anne McGlure says interesting textures in that Stephen West cowl.
Yes. Yeah, they really are. I love it because I love up here. Look how pretty all that, how the welting is. It's just so, and I loved working on it too. So really a fun piece. So what I'm going to be doing is putting together some kits here. You'll see that I've got them all kind of laid out in the colors that I think will work out well. And I'm going to get those up on the website and see how many adventurous people I have to try this piece. So I think between the Meet Me at Midnight and the batade, there's a nice variety of just a different variety of knitting techniques that you'll be using along the way, to kind of take it from we have some really simple pieces out there for people who just like that. I like to call it mindless knitting. And then there are some pieces that when you want to be challenged, you know, so you'll see a bunch of different things laid out here on the sofa that you can just kind of pan that sofa, Paul, so they can see the different colors and the combinations of things that are out there. So all different pieces. And so these are the combinations that I'm looking at here for the batade. I don't know if you were able to get pictures of those. And you can also do this same shawl in solids. So you can use solids as well. So I'm going to take this one off, lay it back down. And
Ellen Sullenberger says cowl is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. The colors in that, I happened to, I had gone to a yarn dyeing class. And so I actually dyed the multicolor, and Bryce Wonder is on our show tonight. And the blue is one of his that he dyed. He does a lot of hand dyeing as well. So that's that one. How are we on? What are we doing on time there?
We're good.
We're good? Okay.
A couple of minutes.
Perfect. So I just want to come over and talk a little bit about Huasco cotton, because we've been, a while back, I was showing you how I was working using the cotton. And so now we have on our website this lovely shawl called Solar Flare. And this is, look at the bottom of that, how the little kind of like fans at the bottom. So we've got lace and fans and just lots of beautiful knitting here. And I do love it. And one of the things I do love about this shawl is that it sits very nicely on your shoulders. And you know, sometimes those shawls will kind of drop off your shoulders, but this is has a really nice shape to it and holds up beautifully, stays up really nicely. So Pam did this color. She did it in the pinks and blues and grays. And I worked mine up in the greens and blues. So if you look up here, you'll see the variety of colors that we have in the Huasco cotton for the Solar Flare.
And Araconia Yarns put up the link for the Solar Flare shawl kit.
Thank you. And that's a great kit. You're going to love working that one. I really just, and the cotton is so great to work with. In fact, I loved it so much that I put together the Breathe and Hope kit using the same yarn. Paul, I'm going to show them this one right here. And what I did here is Breathe and Hope is really popular right now on Ravelry. And I was looking at, I wanted to do it in a cotton. I mean, we have it, I'll show it to you in a wool, but I wanted to use this cotton because I love it. And just look how pretty that design comes. I don't know if any of you have tried this shawl yet, but this is really very, very nice. And it's got a variety of stitches in there. So again, a little mosaic as well in here. And so what we did here is we combined the Huasco cotton with Jody Long's My Little Sunshine. So for example, you've got, this is the contrast color, and I can't remember which one it goes with right now. It might be this one. So you'll see on the website that we have a variety of kits available, all different colors.
Janine Kosel says your Huasco cotton shawls are lovely.
Thank you. I love them too. And I love wearing them. You know, shawls for me have kind of taken the place of jewelry, you know, of neck jewelry. I wear so many of them that when I leave the house, I just grab a shawl and, you know, and off I go. And it's just always a great little compliment to whatever you're wearing. So are we out of time? We are out of time. My goodness, I feel like I haven't seen you all in so long. I could keep going and going and going. So as we sign off, I'm just going to show you one more time. We're going to do a little bit more with this next week because we are going to have Jody Long is going to be back on our show. This is the lovely Breathe and Hope. So we'll be talking a little bit more with him about not just his yarns, but we're going to be talking about trends and things that we're going to be looking for come fall. Believe it or not, yes, summer has just gotten here, but we're already looking at fall yarns. And so we can start thinking about some of the projects that we'll be seeing. So we'll look forward to seeing Jody next week on the show. I want to thank everyone for being with us. Do we have any last minute comments? Are we good?
Let's see. Jeff Grill says, thank you, Paulette.
Thank you.
Julie Stark.
Hi, Julie. Hey, congratulations
Thanks,
to your daughter's graduation. It's great to see you. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, Twisted Stitches. Check out our website for all these great things. You'll see more coming up after the show and throughout the week. Watch our page. Be sure to share this with all your friends. Like the page, share the page. We love you. We'll see you next week.